Good morning, my loves, and welcome to another episode of Empire Builders with Michelle Hext. Most of my clients want to create impact. They're here for the impact. And what they don't often think about is that success is, or the gateway to success is through impact. When we are impactful on our audience, as we grow our audience, it translates into success. It can't help but do that. Think about all of the people that you have been impacted by as you grow your business. The ones that have positively impacted you in some way are typically where you spend your dollars. Am I right? So let me talk about why or how most people get in their way when they're focusing on creating impact. They have this big, grand idea for having impact. They want to be impactful. Impact, the word is thrown around a lot. But when I actually ask them, what does that mean? And even if they have an idea of what it means, when I say, how are you going to do that? Often they're a little bit wobbly on it. And so I want to talk about I want to break it down, I guess. Impact is created when we stop focusing on ourselves and we start focusing on our audience. That's the biggest takeaway that I want you to walk away with today. Most of the time, as you are growing your business, we turn our focus inwards. We're focused on things like, what's the freebie I want to create? What's the lead magnet I want to create? How do I feel about showing up? What do I want to say? And to some extent, the message that you want to share and what it is that you want to say, we don't want to mess with that. But when we're thinking about what we want to produce and put out into the world, we've got to start thinking about our audiences and not ourselves. I've seen so many pieces of content and freebies and lead magnets and paid micro offers and even offers actually, where the coach has this grand idea about what it is that they want to do. And then I ask them, but what do the clients want? What do your potential clients want? What do they want and need? What do they need to hear? What do they need to hear from you? And when we start to think less about ourselves, and oftentimes that will come with all of the insecurities and weirdness that we feel when we show up about, our message or the way that we look or the way that we sound, or that other people are doing it better than we are, or people have been doing it longer than we have, blah, 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 right? When we go inward, we do our audience a massive disservice, and it gets in the way of us leading with impact, because it's our job to show up in our full power and not as the questioning, insecure person with the baggage, right? We all have it. We all have a mountain. I was going to say a stack, but we've all got a mountain of past failures. We've all got a lot of past baggage that we have in our lives, right? About ourselves and who we are as human beings, whether it's childhood trauma, whether it could be anything, right? We all have our stuff. And it's up to us to forget about our stuff and focus on our audience, our potential clients. What is their stuff? Because their stuff is the stuff that we need to be concerned with, but only if you want to make money as a coach, consultant, or mentor, right? That's when it matters. And most of you are focused inward. Most of you are concerned with yourselves and you don't even know it, but you're conscious of yourself and you're limiting the things that you say and the way you say it and the way that you show up, because you're focused on yourself and how you're going to look, how it's going to feel for you if it doesn't land right and things like that. So I want you to just really turn the lens outward. If it's turned inward, it's doing you and it's doing your audience a disservice. Turn the lens outward. Look at your audience, fall in love with them, know what they want intimately so that you can be helping them. That's how we create impact. Impact is created through results. And those results are going to be a direct impact of the way that you show up in the message that you've got to share and the strategies that you share, whatever it is that you do. So remember, the impact is created when you stop focusing on yourself and you start focusing on your audience. The gateway to success is through impact, and impact is created through results. Like if you can just keep remembering those three things. Now, we also want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward before we start showing up and making a noise on the internet, right? So when I say we want to put our best foot forward, we need to be in our sweet spot. We need to be well positioned. We feel like we're aligned with what it is that we're sharing in the world. Our offers are aligned. We feel incredible about our offers. We are positioned well. As I mentioned, we feel really good about our little stake of the internet and who we are showing up for and our unique take on things. And of course, your branding, your visuals, everything has to be aligned and feeling good for you so that you can show up powerfully. It's just like if you imagine your brand, and that includes your offers and your marketing and how you've positioned yourself, all of those things. If you imagine that you have rolled out of bed one morning, it's a Sunday morning, for example, and you're like, I've just got to go get some milk. And you haven't done your hair, you haven't washed your face, you throw on the first thing that you see and you race out the door, hair looking like a scarecrow, and you are just hoping and praying that you don't run into anybody. And you always do, right? That's always the day that you run into somebody that you don't want to run into. So that is you going out there onto the internet and sharing your message and trying to be impactful and powerful when you haven't put your best foot forward. You haven't taken care of the most important thing, which is you, and presenting yourself in the most expansive way possible, right? It's a very different situation. We've all had it where we decide that we're not just going to roll out of bed and throw the first thing on. We get up, we have a shower, we put something on our face if we feel like we need to. We do our hair, we dress carefully, and we strut into the supermarket to grab the milk, and it's a completely different vibe. And you may or may not run into that person. Usually you don't when you're looking your best, but that's okay. We're prepared, right? We are prepared. We have our best foot forward, and it doesn't matter who we run into. We are going to feel really good about it. And so you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. Feel aligned, feel powerful, feel potent, feel unstoppable first, and then go out there and create impact. And as I said, I'm going to beat it like a drum. The gateway to success is through impact. Impact is created when you stop focusing on yourself and you start focusing on your audience, and that's in all aspects. And you put your best foot forward. You look the part. Your brand looks the part. You've positioned yourself well. Your offers are aligned. And then you get to show up for your audience. And you will do that powerfully, and people will pay attention. You will create that impact that you want to create. You can't create that impact if there's a mess in the back end, right? We just can't do that. So take care of business, set yourself up well, and then go out there and focus on your audience and forget about your baggage, forget about your insecurities, forget about the competition, forget about everything that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you came here to say and why you're saying it. And that is to help your audience. If you don't love the people that you're here to create impact for, then you're not going to feel it. So be in love with your audience. Fall in love with the people that you're here to help. They will feel it. They will sense it. I love my people. I love the people that I help. And I'm sure that you get a sense of that. I'm sure you feel that. And I want you to feel that. If you do all of those things, you will create impact. And just on impact, because it's got a lot to do with visibility, right? And messaging. I want you to consider that less is more. You don't need to be throwing things at the internet every 5 minutes to create impact. Think in terms of highly targeted, deep, and potent. That's how we create impact. And bonus points is if you really lean into the level of mastery that you have in one area. People that create the greatest impact are the people who have an area of expertise and they lean into that. People that are trying to do 100 different things at once, unless they already have a massive following and are multi-passionate, it's rare, but unless they already have a massive following and it doesn't matter what they do or produce or create or let out into the world, someone will buy it. For most of you, that's not you. So the fastest way to get traction is to find your niche and burrow into that, because as we know, a niche is only an inch wide, but it is miles deep, and you can create more impact through precision than you can through scattergun. Anyway, that is it for today. I will see you next week. Bye for now.